The first time my parents told me my daughter was inconvenient, I thought maybe they were just stressed. It was a hot July evening, and I'd brought Ava, my 4-year-old, to their house after work because my babysitter had cancelled at the last minute. My mother opened the door, glanced down at Ava's sweaty face, then turned to me. "Why do you always expect us to drop everything for your child?" I gave a nervous laugh and handed her a cold soda. "Just for a couple hours, Mom. I have an extra shift tonight. Rent's due." My dad didn't even glance up from his recliner. "We raised our kids, not our grandkids." Ava peeked out from behind me, clutching her purple stuffed rabbit. "Hi, Grandpa." He grunted. That was it. No smile, no warmth. I tried to convince myself maybe they were just tired. They had always been colder to me than to my sister, Courtney. But lately, their coldness felt sharp, almost cruel. I was some annoying mosquito buzzing around their real family. Courtney, her husband, their children, their perfect life funded by my parents. Courtney had never worked a day in her life. She married a man my parents adored, a dentist who bought them cruises and even paid for their kitchen remodel. When she had twins, Mom knitted blankets for them. When I had Ava, I got a text, "Congrats," followed by "Hope you can afford her." I swallowed that hurt for years, like biting down on glass. Ava didn't deserve to see my bitterness. I worked 2 jobs, skipped meals, skipped birthdays. But I kept my daughter safe, warm, and loved. She smiled every night before bed. That meant I was doing something right until the night they left her screaming by the dumpster. That day began like any other disaster. I was called into work last minute for a double-pay shift. Ava had a stomach bug and couldn't go to daycare. I called Courtney straight to voicemail. I texted. No answer. I knew better than to ask, but I called my parents. "Just a few hours, please," I pleaded. There was a long pause. "We're heading to dinner," Mom said flatly. "Reservations at 6. I checked the time, 5:22. "I can be there in 10 minutes. Ava hasn't eaten all day. She needs rest. I promise I'll pick her up before you get back." Silence again. Then Dad got on the phone. "We'll wait 10 minutes. Not one more." I thanked them until my voice shook, bundled Ava into the car with her bunny, and drove like the world was on fire behind me. When I pulled into their driveway, they were already heading to their car. Mom in heels too high for her age, Dad searching his pockets for his wallet. "She's sick," I said softly. "Just let her lie on the couch." I packed her medicine and everything. Mom opened the back door. Ava whimpered. "I don't feel good." "You'll be fine," she muttered, barely looking at her. "Just don't throw up on anything expensive." Dad bent down to Ava, eye to eye. No noise. No fussing. "Got it." I kissed her forehead. "You're safe. Mama loves you." And left, promising ice cream after my shift. That promise died halfway through. At 7:43, my phone buzzed. She cried too much. We left her outside. "Can't be bothered. Enjoy your shift." I thought I was reading it wrong. I called. No answer. Called again. Straight to voicemail. My hands shook as I threw off my apron and ran out the back door. I didn't tell my manager. I just ran. 11 minutes later, I arrived. The porch was empty. The lights were off. But I heard something. Ava was crying behind the trash bins. I ran to the side of the house, and there she was, curled into a tiny, shivering ball on the cold concrete beside the dumpster, her bunny soaked in what looked like soda. Her face was blotchy, her hands trembling, her eyes wild. "Mommy." She ran into my arms, her body freezing. "I called for you. I called for you so much." I said nothing. I just held her. In that moment, I stopped being the daughter who begged for scraps of love. I became the mother who would never forget. I didn't knock on the door. I didn't yell. I brought Ava home, warmed her soup, held her until she fell asleep on my chest. Then I opened my laptop and started planning. Not just revenge, but removal. Not from their house, from their lives, permanently. I didn't sleep that night. I lay in the dark, Ava's soft breath against my chest, watching the ceiling fan spin like a clock counting down to the end of whatever illusion of family I had left. The next morning, I took Ava to the pediatrician. Her voice was hoarse, throat red from crying in the cold, temperature low. The doctor looked at me with cautious concern. How long was she out there? I lied. A minute or two. She didn't seem convinced but nodded, gave medicine, and instructed me to keep Ava warm and safe. I walked out feeling the walls of my world crumble, leaving me with only this tiny hand in mine, and I wasn't letting go. Not again. Not ever. That week, I didn't contact my parents. Didn't reply to Mom's text 2 days later. We hope Ava learned her lesson. Disrespect is loud. She was loud. I didn't get angry. I just read it, closed it, and added it to a private folder, truth. They never expected. Every insult, every dismissal, every she's not our problem text, screenshotted and catalogued. My plan wasn't exposure, it was consequence and silence, the kind that eats away at people who think they've won. I started with the thing they valued most, Courtney's image. My parents obsessed over appearances, especially now that Courtney's husband was running for office. Dad bragged endlessly. Mom printed fake campaign shirts with our last name underlined like royalty. Dinner fundraisers, garden parties, donations they couldn't afford, everything for attention. Meanwhile, I was invisible. Except I wasn't. I had something they ignored, a job, a position. I worked in logistics and scheduling for a major hotel, the same hotel hosting Courtney's husband's campaign event in 3 weeks. I pulled favors, shifted calendars, and assigned my friend to manage the event. 3 days before the fundraiser, I confirmed catering details. She blinked. Wait, that's your family? I nodded. I want it to go exactly as they planned. She understood. At home, I showed Ava what love really meant, extra bedtime stories, new pajamas, saving up for a $12 Play Doctor kit because she wanted to heal sick kids someday. Publicly, I pulled back from my parents. Calls went unanswered. One-word answers about Ava. I watched them squirm. Then Courtney appeared, perfect hair, fake pearls. Look, I know things got out of hand, but Mom and Dad are hurt you're ignoring them. I stared. You mean they're hurt I didn't thank them for putting my daughter next to a garbage bin? She rolled her eyes. God, you're so dramatic. She's fine, isn't she? I said nothing, slowly closing the door. She banged. You're jealous. You always have been. Just because Mom and Dad chose me doesn't mean you get to ruin everything now. Chose. That word rang in my skull. They chose her. Every time. And now I was choosing me. 3 nights before the fundraiser, another message from Mom. You've been cold. What happened to family first? That's why we went to dinner. Family. Couldn't deal with my drama anymore. I didn't respond. Printed it, sealed it, Ava helped tape it shut. The night of the event, I dressed simple. Black blouse, dark jeans, flats. No scene. I arrived just before guests, slipped into the back office, and my friend handed me a folder. Inside, seating charts, MIC schedules, VIP lists, and one tiny detail only I knew could shift everything. I would have noticed the family spotlight segment. 5 minutes were reserved for proud family remarks, a brief moment when the campaign manager planned to mention Courtney and her parents, highlighting character, values, and legacy. My friend looked at me. Are you sure you want to go through with this? I nodded. I wasn't saying a word. But I made sure someone else did. Inside that envelope Ava helped me seal, the one labeled truth they never expected, weren't just screenshots. There was a full timeline, dates, times, messages, and a statement in block letters written by Ava herself. I helped her spell it letter by letter. Grandma left me at the trash. I was scared. I cried a lot. I called for Mom. She didn't come. The envelope was slipped into the donation box just as the proud family segment began. The campaign manager picked it up, thinking it was a donor form. He opened it on stage and started reading. By the line, I called for Mom. She didn't come, the room went silent. Courtney's smile froze. My father blinked. My mother shook her head slowly, then whispers, gasps, phones out, cameras rolling. The word dumpster hung in the air like a curse. Courtney lunged for the mic. That's fake. That's planted. My sister's trying to ruin us. That's when I stood up from the back row, walked down the center aisle, said nothing. I handed the campaign manager my ID and nodded. He read it, then looked at Courtney. You didn't mention your sister worked at the hotel. They asked me to speak. I refused because silence is heavier than any speech. I walked out. No clapping. Just silence, the kind that burns pride and settles deep in the chest, the kind that destroys. They didn't call immediately. For a week, all I saw were headlines: candidate's campaign rocked by family scandal. Why was a child left crying near a dumpster? Sister who stayed silent lets the truth speak. Courtney's husband dropped out within days. Major donors pulled out. My father lost his consulting side hustle. My mother disappeared from her church committees. Then the messages began. Dad, this has gone too far. You've made your point. Mom, voicemail, sniffling, we're ruined. Courtney's marriage is failing. Your daughter exaggerated. Please, we're still your parents. Still, the word lingered like a debt owed. They sent a gift, a doll for Ava. No card. Ava asked, is this from the people who called me loud? I nodded. She whispered, I don't want it. So, we donated it to the shelter down the block. Finally, they came in person. Thinner, hollow-eyed, like people starved for attention. Dad tried to smile. Can we come in? Ava stood behind me, clutching my hand. I looked at her, then back at them. No. Mom's mouth fell open. We're your family. No. Family doesn't leave children beside trash. Family doesn't toast to their pain. Dad snapped, we raised you. I smiled. And now I'm raising her without you. I closed the door slowly, locked it, sat beside Ava, and turned on her favorite cartoon. We shared popcorn while my phone buzzed unanswered. I wasn't living for apologies anymore. I was living for peace, warmth, bedtime songs, safe arms, and a future where Ava would never doubt she mattered. My parents can beg, but silence. Silence is all they'll ever get from me. Now please subscribe to our channel and tell us in the comments, where are you watching this from?